Hi guys, welcome to Ink Bros. My name is Brandon. Welcome to the channel, and once again we are returning to the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! It has been a hot minute since the last time I did one of these, and there has been a reason I haven't really been uploading any Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff to the channel for a bit. Now, I was going to make a full editorial video to explain why I haven't been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Lately, but I'll let this clip from Yu-Gi-Oh! The Bridge series explain.
Losing a children's card game has caused me to have an existential crisis.
So I did give the game a bit of a break due to burnout from editing and the game itself. It was getting a bit too much, but with the new crowd of people joining Grand J Games, I felt like it was the right time to return to the game. So this vlog is going to cover me returning to Yu-Gi-Oh! Once again. What the f is a pendulum card? To celebrate coming back, I've also bought half a case of the new 2022 Megatins in the hopes of getting some good staples like Forbidden Droplet, Nibiru, as well as, of course, the manga style cards of Red Eyes Black Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Dark Magician Girl. Now, when I bought these tins, I didn't realize that the manga cards, which are the ones I really want to get, are very short printed and harder to get. So in hindsight, I should have just bought them as singles, but here's hoping I can get something out of it. There we go, the 2022 Dark Magician Girl. It is such a cool looking card. Like, it's not meta defining or a staple in Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's such a cool looking card. So this vlog is going to cover the first 2 weeks of me returning back to the game properly. Now, I am sticking with Dark Magicians again. I love this deck, it's a lot of fun. I have made much needed changes to the deck, and here is the new deck list. So as you can see, this deck list is fairly different to the one I've been using. I now have the full Dark Magician core there, including the Soul Servants, finally. And I've also incorporated a little bit of branded into the deck. I find that the branded engine is a great way for me to be able to summon out Dragoon, as well as getting some strong bodies on the board. I have also got a few Floodgate cards in there, like Secret Village. I can't tell you how handy this card is. With Dark Magicians, their biggest weakness is back row removal because we rely so heavily on back row cards to do stuff. So Secret Village is very handy, and there's a new card that I came across that surprisingly goes well with the Dark Magician's deck. It is Epidemic Eradicator Virus. Now, because most of the cards that I deal with that are backrow removal spells, I can use this card, tribute a Dark Magician, and stop my opponent from using spells for the next 3 turns. I've also incorporated this fun little gimmick of on between Master and Student and Dark Burning Magic. So I summon Dark Magician and then use Bond between Master and Student to bring out Dark Magician Girl, which then allows me to use Dark Burning Magic to blow up.
And then act like I don't know nobody.
That being said, I want to invite you to join me once again to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! The very first match of week 1 I played against Telements. Now there is a reason why Telements are consistently topping tournaments. It's a very, very good deck, very consistent, which I unfortunately was just not able to keep up with, so I lost game 1. But it was nice to see this new format. I'd only heard about Telements and how they worked and stuff, so being able to see it in action was quite a bit of fun. And once again, I'm learning more about the game as I go. And the people at Grand J Games are just phenomenal in that. Even though I've been back for a few months now, I'm still learning things. There are things I don't quite understand, especially after having a bit of a break between the last episode and this one. So for me to be able to play with such generous people with their time, I'm very lucky to have a really good crowd of people to play with. Now game 2 in week 1 was against, I'll describe it as an image deck, I don't know. And I came across the scariest card. It's a very simple card called Prohibition. If you don't know what Prohibition is, the effect of Prohibition is you declare one card name, your opponent can't use that card for the rest of the duel while the card is face up. And my opponent chose Dark Magician. And so, because I couldn't use Dark Magician, my entire deck just... In saying that, the subsequent rounds, we had great back and forth between the decks, and that's what I love about playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. I don't like playing decks that have 20 negates as soon as you summon a card. I'd rather that back and forth in the game. It's a lot more fun that way. Even though I lost game 2, it was just a lot of fun, and it was nice to be reminded that Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though it can be very tricky to play, it can still be a lot of fun, win or lose. Game 3 was against the Flandries. I come up against it all the time in Master Duel, and I always find it very difficult to try and get around. Despite the fact that I was playing against Flandries, I was very happy in that I was able to achieve my goal, being able to use the Dark Burning Magic gimmick and blowing up the field. In the end, I was able to take that game, and so won on the leaderboard. Game 4 in week 1 was against Sun Avalon. I'd never played against the deck before, and I was very surprised in how powerful it was. I'm a bit of a slower player, so when someone's able to swarm the field like that, doesn't look so good for me. And so week 1, I lost game 4, so I only won 1 out of 4 duels. Now coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh! I've played about 34 games, and I've only won 4. So after the luck of drawing Dark Magician Girl and some cool staples, I came into today's tournament with a bit of pep in my step and just looking forward to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again with some really nice people. And today's local tournament was the most people I'd ever seen at the shop. It was crazy how many people were playing, and everyone was buying tins. It was just a really nice atmosphere. Everyone was really welcoming, everyone was saying hi to each other, and it was just a really nice atmosphere to come into, and that only put me in an even better mood to play some card games.
Check it out.
So game 1 was against a runic deck. I had no clue what it was, and runic decks scare the out of me. If you don't know, they banish cards from your deck over and over and over again until you got nothing left. So I found myself very quickly on the ropes, losing game 1 because I had no cards to work with. After kind of realizing what runics do, I immediately got to work incorporating and making sure to try and get out Eradicator as soon as possible. If I could use my trap to prevent my opponent from being able to use any board wipes, and especially the runic spells, I would have a chance. But luckily enough, I was able to get Eradicator out on my first draw, and I was able to set up a much needed board to lock him out of spells, and I took game 2. And so game 3 was very neck and neck. He knew what I was up to, I knew what he was up to, and he was very quick to start banishing cards. But I was lucky enough to again set up a floodgate to prevent him from using those spells. I was able to win game 3, which means that I won the very first round. Game 2 was against runics again, and game 2 was exceptionally rough. In the very first round of game 2, I decked out because my opponent banished my entire deck. So I attempted to try and replicate my strategy in round 1, but my opponent was able to get the better of my Dark Magician deck, and again banishing key cards I really needed to be able to play, and I lost round 2. Game 3 was against a Fish Xyz deck. I can't quite remember who won round 1 or round 2, but we both had one win on each side, so it came down to the final round to determine whether or not I could get my very first second win. Secret Village is like the MVP of my deck. I was able to floodgate the field with Secret Village and getting some big spellcasters out, being Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, and then going for game. I can't tell you how excited I was to finally achieve my goal since episode 1, to being able to win at least 2 out of 4 games. And it was a lot of hard work. I mean, the 3 rounds I'd played were not easy at all. All the opponents I'd faced, including the ones I did win, and they were very, very smart in how they played. I feel like I just got lucky. And so on to round 4, the highest I've ever been in the local tournament, of having won 2 games and lost 1. I was up against a really cool matchup of Branded and Cyber Dragons. I knew I had to try and lock him out of fusions any way possible, so I sided in stuff like Dimensional Barrier. In round 1, despite any floodgates I tried to set up, he was able to counteract them very easily, and I lost game 1. Game 2, I was lucky enough to be able to set up good board again with Dragoon, who's also putting in a lot of work lately. I was able to take game 2. Game 3, I had a chance to win 3 out of 4 games, and I lost. So despite losing game 4, I'm on an absolute high of winning 2 out of 4 games. Now 2 out of 4 games might not seem great to a lot of competitive players, but for someone who's returned to the game after 15 years, having to learn all these new mechanics and playing with what would be considered a rogue deck, I'm over the moon that I was able to take 2 out of 4 games. And so once again, I'm going to be setting the bar even higher, and hoping in the next few weeks to try and win 3 out of 4 games. And my long-term goal of being able to top a local. Now, it is very ambitious to try and top a local with a Dark Magician deck, but stranger things have happened. And so I know it's been a while, but thank you for joining me once again on this journey. Let me know in the comments if you want to see any more Yu-Gi-Oh content, whether that be more pack openings, more vlogs from locals, or even some Master Duel stuff. Ethan and I are branching out into Twitch, doing some streaming stuff. This car looks so much more comfier with the seats. That looks like a proper gaming chair that Master Chief is sitting in there. Although he does look a little bit too big for it. So if you want to support the channel on Twitch, that'd be amazing. If you like this video, make sure to like it. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost you anything, and it gives us a lot of love. And even more so, if you want to subscribe to the channel for more content, please do so. And I will see you when I see you.